Zimmer from True Romance. Dun, 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 dun.
We don't own the rights to that song.
So how much of it can he sing?
19 seconds.
Go ahead.
Dun, 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 dun. Wait, I keep thinking of Halloween.
Dun, 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 dun.
Have we started?
Adding to what
Is
you
it
guys
started?
had before.
Wait, is this going to be edited?
Maybe.
Okay. Have we started?
I pushed the button.
All right. Well, I guess let's start this madness.
Boom.
Welcome back to this Fortnight in Film.
What?
Yeah, we only do the show
'cause it's every
once
other
a
week,
month
yeah.
now.
Last one was that Big Trolls one.
Yeah, the very successful Trolls show. I'm your host, Nick Panonto, of the show where we get together every week sometimes and talk about what movies we watched. This week I'm joined as always by Matt Lauer.
Hi,
We might
I'm Matt,
remember him as Memphis Matt.
but we're not going to.
We're gonna stop doing that because it's annoying.
Yeah.
And newcomer to the show, Scott Cahall.
What's going on, people?
Nice.
We've been doing Bane all night.
Yeah, it's been stuck in my head.
Awesome.
So yeah, let's get into this. We had some wacky movies.
We did watch a couple wacky movies tonight. Leading off the evening, Matt, what did you see this week?
The same things you guys saw. We watched Lifeforce, a 1985. That's what it was called, right?
Yeah,
Oh, good.
it's always good to get the title.
We're off to a
right.
good start. 1985 movie, directed by Tobe Hooper, right?
The director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist.
Yeah,
And probably among other things.
High budget canon film.
yeah. This was a big time Canon Films movie. This was, I think, at the time. I think I could do some research, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna make a number up. I think this was a $25 million movie.
At least.
About
From what I saw, I would definitely. I mean, the green, the coloring was on point. So at least $5 million went to that as far as the green comic.
everything. It was green like the Matrix.
Yeah, there was a green screen.
And
One dude had green eyes.
I think it was based in London. It was definitely an England movie. There's a lot of English people.
So
Starring Matilda May and other people. Men.
Who else was in that?
I
I don't know.
dudes. There were dudes and then Matilda May.
Put the poor man's Tommy Lee Jones.
That's who I was. Yeah, he was in it.
I guess I could look up their names. Let's
There was
see.
Dwayne Barry.
What
from
I
an
learned
episode
from
of the
this
X Files.
film,
Steve Railsback
That's him.
and Peter Firth
Peter Firth.
and Frank Finlay. Oh, and Patrick Stewart.
That's right. Yeah,
Oh,
Patrick
yeah.
Stewart.
Yeah.
And we're not sure about this, but it may have been his first on-screen kiss in a movie. Not to give away a spoiler alert.
He kisses someone.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, so Matt, we just finished watching Lifeforce.
True.
We all watched it together. Can you please tell us what it was about? Because
Nope.
I don't know.
No, I can. Wait, hang on. Let me do my best here. Some people in space, not like Martians, but astronauts, discover a large ship-like thing.
Well, wait, it was the
And then-
ESA, right?
the European Space Agency.
Space Agency.
I didn't.
But which America was a part of, I noticed. So maybe there was NASA
They're
joint
American.
effort.
shows up.
But they sent up their own space shuttle later.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that
The
got
Space
there
Shuttle
immediately.
Columbia. Yeah.
So
All right. So
and
Matt,
then they discovered on this ship-like thing some
They went
giant
down-
bat creatures and a few naked folk. And then from there, people die, stuff gets crazy, and the plot gets really lost, especially if you're talking over
the movie's
whole time.
based on a book called The Space Vampires. So there's your plot right there. I think they just saw the name of the book and just said, this movie writes itself. And then it didn't.
Yeah, I'm
the
not sure it
way
did.
I think they just read about the author part and then made the movie. I don't think they read the plot synopsis of what the movie is. It's
author
about
lived
the
in
author. It's
London.
like, oh, he's from London, so let's make a space zombie movie with rockin' tits. There was the
It's truth.
I mean that's the breasts in this movie. I definitely recommend. Other than that,
It's the only point in the movie where
Matilda
the room was
May.
actually quiet.
is that the actress's name? Matilda May.
Matilda May.
Was she in anything else?
Let's see.
Naked?
She still looks amazing.
How old is she?
She is.
She was 18 then. So
She's 52 now. So
God,
she was in The Jackal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. Who else was in that? Bruce Willis.
Jack
Samuel
Black
Jackson?
was in it, like a young Jack
That's
Black.
right. Jack Black was in it.
Richard Gere. No.
Richard
Not
Gere was
really.
in a movie called Summersby. You ever seen that? You ever seen that?
No.
It's a pretty good movie. Where he,
Yeah.
we'll get into that another day.
Yeah, she works, but it's a lot of like it looks like French stuff.
Well,
According to IMDb, she's always working, and good for her.
yeah.
But
so
she
what do we have
drop
to,
dead gorgeous in this movie.
Yeah.
She spends almost all of her screen time naked.
True.
The highlights of the movie, as I saw them, were the breasts and the crystal frog on the man's desk. I have no idea what the names of the people were.
Yeah, but you're forgetting the panels.
Oh, that's right. Well, Nick can explain what a London hallway is. So.
Well, I was thinking the solar panels.
Oh, the solar. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
This too.
Yeah, the
Like-
space shuttle that. Well, the movie starts out with. There's a space shuttle in space, and it has an array of solar panels that are got to be like 10 football fields long.
We watched the movie on a 65-inch TV, and I can say it stretched to about 52 inches. So
And so the space station or the spaceship or shuttle finds its way into the alien spaceship that they find that's chasing Halley's Comet.
well, it's a space colon that they went inside of.
Yeah,
It's
that's
definitely
right.
a space
Yeah.
colon
Yeah.
with bats inside.
Yeah, and inside are giant bat people. And they immediately go, well, we got to take one of these guys, put them in the specimen bag, which is just a net. and then they keep going down the tunnel of this alien spaceship.
It was space colon.
and inside this room, they find 3 perfectly preserved people. One of them is Matilda May, and then
Gorgeous.
2 naked dude guys. And they just say, all right, put them in specimen bags too, and we'll bring them home.
Now I noted. Now this isn't a complaint, and as I said before, I noticed it's okay to show vaginal full frontal nudity, but there was no penile shots in this, and I just think it was a missed opportunity just to kind of get a space penis out there. But that's just me, kind of a weird guy. I take your
I got
deafening
nothing to add
silence
to that.
as agreement. I
I'll acknowledge I did not see any penises.
Yeah,
wasn't-
there was no penis in the movie.
I wasn't searching for it. I just thought
There was also no blinking.
there was no blinking. There was
Yeah.
a lack of facial emotion and a lack of blinking.
Yeah.
And a very limited amount of space within the space shuttle, but we kind of figured that was because the
Panel.
folded up solar panels
Yeah,
took
there's
up probably
about-
about 95%
there's about
of the
40
spaceship.
square feet of space
shuttle.
in the space shuttle and 7 people living there.
And gravity is also very choosy as to who it floats and
Yeah.
who is allowed to not float.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like that one guy who was just kind of bobbing up and down.
Yeah, well, he was doing his part. They couldn't afford the strings for him.
Yeah, so they're bringing the space vampires home. The spaceship or space shuttle is approaching Earth, and the mission control can't raise the ship. They can't get in touch, so they send up the space shuttle Columbia,
That's the NASA
From
astronauts.
NASA.
Yeah.
and they dock with the ship, and the whole inside of it has been burned. There's been a disaster. And they go through the ship, and they're floating past all the burned bodies of the crew.
And at this point, we're about 10 minutes into a 2-hour movie.
Right. And they find in the back of the ship those 3 aliens still perfectly preserved.
Without a penile shot. Just
Just noticed.
once again, as I said, I was not something. I just felt it's unfair that you can show. I don't understand the logic in that. I don't want to see a man's mashing bangers, but I still would like to.
Your words say you don't, but your other words suggest
Well,
you do.
yeah, as a man, I like to compare, apples to oranges, see what I'm working with, what they're working with.
I think
but
that's your problem, is that there were no apples in
There
the
was no
movie
apples.
either.
No apples.
I'm sitting here with my oranges and I got no apples. I need my apples.
So they find the bodies on the ship. They go, well, we definitely have to bring these back to Earth.
They were very scientific as well. As any scientist knows, when you stumble upon a new creature, the first thing you do is break the finger off. Because that's how you test if it's alive and,
Yeah.
and what type of
Is
biochemistry it has.
this thing new or old?
I would
I don't
break
know.
this.
Smash part of it.
Smash that.
So they bring it back to Earth, and they're doing experiments on them. And one guy decides he's gonna molest Matilda May because she's
Man, see the movie and enjoy boobs. Yeah, for lack of a better word.
And so she wakes up.
So now might be a good time to let folks know that they might not want to let their kids listen to this episode of the show.
The show is listed as explicit.
It's NC-17.
But yeah, so she dries out one guy with her dehydrating.
Yeah, well,
powder.
like she one doesn't know how to kiss anyone, but when she kisses someone, she sucks the life force out of the person she's
See what you did
attacking.
there?
And turns him into a terrifying puppet.
Which comes back to life later, though. That's what I never understood was when she sucked out the life force.
Oh, I understand what happens.
Because he sucks it out of somebody else.
Yeah, that's she.
So you have to pass it on, kind of like an It Follows type of thing, where you got to pass the.
Think of it like just traditional vampire. She bit him.
Whoa! That's
so
where you're
now-
wrong, sir. Because traditional vampires are on Earth. We're talking about space vampires.
Well, that's
where
why
I'm
they
sure
look
that
like
there's got to be a difference to what they feed on and their habits. Because as we know, the old way of killing a space vampire is 2 inches below the heart
In the energy source.
in the energy. Source.
Yeah, if you were to stab her right in the heart, you're not
Nothing.
going to do anything.
Nothing.
No
effect.
To turn them into sand, you
Yeah.
have to stay 2 inches, no more, no
Although-
less.
Although I noticed that grenades seem to work pretty well.
Yeah, right.
And bullets. Those
Those dudes were
that got
getting ripped
shot.
apart. Yeah.
No, they were walking through the bullets. It was when they dropped the grenades behind that they finally stopped.
Oh well, that dude
For a
never
while,
died
they came back though.
because
They came back
yeah.
later. Spoiler. alert.
So
I don't think you need to.
so she sucks the life out of that guy, and he's left like a desiccated husk that isn't dead, even though its head falls off.
Was the head fall?
It kind of like it rolls back and looks like it's going to
Okay.
tear off. And
But now you're getting ahead because we've missed the London hallway.
oh no, I was going to
London
get to that
hallways.
because
I forgot the
Yeah.
face sucking was.
that's what sets off the London hallway,
That's right.
which, as we all know, a London hallway is a hallway filled with doors.
Just-
Unnecessary
Yeah.
amounts of doors
You go 2
that you
feet.
have to pull open. I mean, like 15 doors
The
that
amount-
guy runs
Like,
through.
open a door, walk 5 feet, open another
Another
door, walk
door.
5 feet, and you just do this 6 or 7 times before you get to another
Yeah.
room.
As we all know, that's a London hallway. And there are so many doors in this movie.
A London hallway could also be a sexual act. I guess it's some kind of like.
It sounds
If you're doing like an
Eiffel
anal
Tower.
gangbang, I would call that a London hallway. An American one is through the front door. A London hallway is in the back.
Yeah, and then some of these things explode. Some of them turn into sand,
Yeah.
and
Well, the problem is
eventually later, some of them turn into zombies. So
that's
Well,
what.
no, those ones are zombies because they're able to keep eating.
So those were like the drones then of it, right? Were they the drone? Those weren't vampires.
I think they were all vampires, even though they looked like zombies.
The movie had
Because
identity
they all
issues.
just suck each other's faces.
and throughout this movie, it seems like they're trying to track Matilda May or the force that travels from her into other people.
Now, mind you, this movie
Until
was
they
made
find
in '85. It was after Texas Chainsaw Massacre and after Poltergeist.
Was it after Poltergeist?
Poltergeist, I think, was like '83 or '84. That was Craig T. Nelson representing the bald men. Shout out to Craig T. Wonder what he's doing.
He was on Fox News a lot.
CTN.
Is he?
Yeah.
No.
That's a bummer.
He's a real right wing guy.
God bless him, I guess. I don't know.
So they're trying to chase this life force thing around,
Yeah.
and at some point, Dwayne Barry attacks some woman who's not Matilda
Dwayne Barry's
May
poor man's
to try
Tommy Lee
That's
Jones.
poor. Yeah.
right, or whatever his actual name was. I forgot again.
Clint Starkswell.
Sure.
It starts.
And so he shouts in this lady's face and then makes out with her. Right? Did he? He
Oh,
did,
that's
right?
the
Yeah.
redhead lady. Yeah.
a lot
yeah.
of the highlight of this movie.
And then they go ahead.
What I was just going to say for me was the background characters, because there was no background direction as to what they're supposed to do while the main scene is going on. So, I
Yeah,
definitely
everyone-
recommend watching the background instead of the movie.
So
Especially
people not
because-
really knowing how to express fear on their faces.
Exactly.
Well,
Well,
fear is laughter.
your main actors don't know how to express anything on their faces. So watching the background actor go, was the best part.
And
If you watch carefully, you can see one of the zombies check with the other zombies
yeah.
to make sure they're supposed to be attacking somebody.
and there's definitely fashion tips you can take from this movie. Turtlenecks go with leather jackets. They go with trench coats.
Yeah,
you
you
definitely
gotta-
should layer.
It's all about layering.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta wear. What was the one kid wearing? A collared shirt underneath a sweater underneath a denim jacket.
Well, it's almost like wearing a button-up shirt, like with the 3 buttons, but instead you just got one stupid button right at the top. It's kind of like that.
like a short sleeve.
Like, yeah, probably like a
Shirt.
blue short sleeve shirt with one button, and then when you bend over, you kind of see the chest hair poke out, and then you throw up in your mouth a little when you see something like that.
And when you sit back, like your belly rolls out of the bottom.
Yeah, so that's what this movie was pretty much like. It was a one-button T-shirt that the chest hair was poking out, and then if you leaned back, you saw a disgusting stomach. So,
Yeah, so that might wrap up Lifeforce.
no, I don't think that's the end of
No.
Lifeforce. I think we're in the middle of it. Apparently, the movie moves fast, so it definitely takes a mind of
It moves fast, but at a snail's pace.
at a snail's pace. So it's very. The movie is very aware of itself. You
Now
know,
we
it's
did
very
watch
tongue
the
in cheek.
director's cut
what-
of the
what?
movie, so
I think it's a
Did they?
satire on nothing. Actually, this movie sucked. This movie was horrible.
I will say this though, plot and stuff aside, I did actually think a lot of the effects were pretty good.
I agree. I thought
especially
a lot
like
of the effects
the
were very
animatronic
good.
sort of stuff.
Yeah,
The face
Puppeteer.
bubbling scene towards the end where the guy was talking, which was cool because you knew it wasn't like a puppet head. you
Yeah.
know? So they had like silicone effects or something on it, but that was pretty cool.
yeah, a lot of good visual effects, practical effects, like the mutant or the desiccated husk, like those are clearly puppets, and you can tell, and there's no way you can not see them as puppets, but they're really
But they were
good.
Well,
like
yeah,
the
they're-
eyes
What they look. If you've
move
ever
and-
seen what was that movie with Will Smith? with-
Independence Day,
No.
I Am Legend.
Yeah, no. Wild Wild West.
Bad Boys.
With the giant spider. No, it was I Am Legend. It was kind of look like that, but those were CGI'd, so I kind of prefer this practical effect
Yeah.
compared to that CGI monster from I Am Legend because that was too obvious. But no, they
Yeah.
did a good job.
And like a lot of the effects, like the light, like look like the Ghostbusters.
yeah, that
It did
there-
look like a lot, like you were saying, it looked like Ghostbusters, but it was the same quality, I would think, as when the aliens or the ghosts are being sucked into the sky.
Well, it was
in
around the same
Ghostbusters.
time. It was Ghostbusters '84.
I think you're right.
I don't know if I am.
Well, but so like the green screen sort of stuff looks janky. It's not going to be convincing or anything like that. But when it comes to the puppeteered stuff, it's actually still pretty effective. It's got that creepy effect.
Well, the problem is I don't know. I guess I have to read Space Vampires because I don't know if that's what I really do because I don't know if it was a commentary on something. I don't know what Tobe Hooper was going for, as we talked about some of his the way he shot the scenes at crooked angle. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, a lot of weird angle and weird lenses. Like you'd use a weird wide angle lens for seemingly no reason.
Well, the one scene where it was like a close up, but for some reason we needed the profile of the guy that he's talking to in the close up at the same time. So I'm just looking at this guy's nose. Yeah, I couldn't focus on anything else.
Yeah,
I don't know where that.
I don't know what
going.
you're talking about right now, but
You don't
Glad-
remember that scene?
no,
where the guy was
stuck
up to
with
the
you.
Yeah, there was like sandwich face here on the side.
He's pointing at the TV we were watching.
I'm very,
But yeah, it was
visual
weird.
with-
He used someone's face to sort of frame it.
Yeah,
It wasn't really necessary.
the
And,
soundtrack was lacking.
I don't remember hearing any music
No,
really outside of the opening credits where it says performed by the London Symphony
I
Orchestra.
felt like at the very beginning there was a little music that was trying to get a Star Wars feel to it, and then after that I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's an odd movie because it starts off as like Alien, like we're in space and we see this alien ship, we're gonna go inside it, and then it turns into a zombie movie.
it's really genre confused.
Yeah. Or it turns into like this
It's like a
sexy,
superhero
It turns
movie?
into like a sexy thriller, and then it turns into a mystery, and then it turns into a zombie movie.
Well, there's this one dude, which I don't know what his name was, but he's got superpowers. Oh, the guy that was on the ship, he gets these superpowers, and there was no explanation that I heard as to why he could read minds or whatever he was
I
doing.
think it's because she loved him.
wow, love let you read minds.
Oh, and then
Wait,
at the end, she
spoiler
says-
alert. It turns out at the end of the movie, he's one of them. So he had those powers.
Is that what she was saying?
That's
like
what
when
she said. You were one of us the whole time.
She meant you're one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why he could survive it.
Yeah, and then the guy threw the sword down and he stabbed them both through the energy source.
This movie really was like peeling an onion. There were so many deep layers to it, and so many. I mean, this is a movie.
All stinky.
This is a movie. If you've got time afterwards, you'll be thinking about it. Definitely trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
And then you'll want to follow it up with a nice, short, refreshing movie.
We're not ready for that. We're still talking about Lifeforce.
Well, yeah, Lifeforce is not over yet.
I'm done with Lifeforce now.
I have nothing to say about.
Well,
this
let's just
movie.
say the ending is abrupt.
Yeah, the movie just
true.
ends.
The best part of it was the end credits. There were some funny names there that I enjoyed reading.
The last shot of the movie, you realize that there were baby zombies because there's a baby carriage that's been knocked over
that
in the
was
street.
disturbing.
And Turtleneck is just looking off into the sky, and then the
Well, I think the
alien
fact
ship
that-
disappeared.
Well, the man that wore the turtleneck had one for each occasion. So when he was good cop, it was the white turtleneck, but when he was the bad cop, he'd put on the black turtleneck.
Yeah, the passage of time in this movie was very confusing because you could only tell it was another day because Turtleneck was wearing a different turtleneck.
Yeah.
But Suits was always wearing the same suit with the pastel tie.
That was the cotton candy tie. There's a beautiful tie in this movie. It's a blue and white, a light pink tie. It's a very powerful tie that I would like to get my hands on if possible. I need to look up.
I'd say that's the second star after
Oh my
Matilda
God,
May.
we haven't even talked about Patrick
The top.
Stewart yet.
Oh yeah. Which he was only in the movie for 5 minutes.
Until his face
Stuff happened
broke
to him.
open and all his blood turned into Matilda May.
Yeah,
Matilda May.
That was great.
that happened.
That was a cool effect.
Yeah.
Of course, we have no idea why that happened, and then
Well-
she exploded, and we
the
still didn't
best
know
part
what
is
that
that
was
you
about.
can get telegrams in a helicopter.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
You can receive mail while you're flying in a helicopter.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the movie was terrible, but it was a fun watch. It was
I wouldn't watch it alone.
yeah.
It's not like Frogs or anything like that. You know, you get some fun out of it. What was
Yeah,
Frogs?
it was
That 1980s movie? That was bad.
Yeah, I
It's
remember
called
that.
Frogs.
Did you ever see Ants with
I mean, I've seen them
Susan
outside.
Sarandon?
But, oh, no.
Not
Ants
Susan
with like Sylvester
Sarandon,
Stallone?
Suzanne Summers.
The Sylvester Stallone cartoon?
No, this was like a horror movie where like a hotel opens up next to this ant hill and the
With an
ants
S, not
attack
a Z.
people.
Ants.
Yeah, you're right.
I spell.
The Woody Allen, Sylvester Stallone ant movie.
That was a bad movie, too. We
I
should have watched
disagree. I
that.
liked Ants.
It's a Bug's Life knockoff.
They both came out at the same time. It was a shame. So Lifeforce, worth watching with friends.
Yeah, I definitely think it's got a Mystery Science Theater 3000. There's a lot to goof on, but definitely not a movie that you can follow. Honestly, and I will never do this, but if I ever did, I'd like to watch it again by myself and figure. I know I won't, but I'd like to do it because there's got to be a plot in there somewhere.
And we heard like
Yeah, we heard
8%
like
of the
10
lines.
Yeah,
There was a lot of facial emoting.
The
Those
lack
British
of-
men.
Well, there
lack
was
of
absolutely
facial
no
emoting.
facial
It was
emoting.
intense.
Well, except for when people were like in the background and didn't realize they were on.
We,
Yeah.
At one
on
point, we
camera.
really started like paying attention to see if they would blink, and no one blinked.
No, I think that was maybe that was so you didn't know who the aliens were. Maybe it was Toby Hooper, did that on purpose.
Yeah, maybe. Didn't pay off. Matilda May blinked all the time, I guess.
I didn't see that. I know her headlights were on though the whole time.
So we finished that, and we decided to watch another classic film.
Debbie Does Dallas.
And because it's the end of April, isn't this the last day of April? It
yeah,
is.
May is tomorrow, May Day, May 1st.
Tomorrow is the first day of May. We decided to watch a Christmas movie called The Christmas Tree.
That's right.
Made in 1991.
Yeah, and this movie was terrible.
But hilarious.
This was an experience that I don't even know how to describe.
Well,
It's a bad
I now
animated
know where
film.
my clinical depression comes from,
it
which was from the childhood of that being around, and that should not exist.
It was directed by Flammarion Ferreira.
Which is shocking for a movie to be this bad because they are well known for making great movies. I remember Flammaria's first movie; that was really good.
Here's the description for it from IMDb. Heartless Mrs. Vilda runs an orphanage where kids live in miserable conditions because she keeps all the donation money for herself. She hires a new assistant who, along with Santa, helps children finally have a Merry Christmas. Mrs. Mavildeba. I mean, there's a Mr. Mavildeba.
It's like Mixoplex from DC.
Yeah. Scott, what was the Christmas tree about?
A Christmas.
I know I just read the description, but I don't feel like that did it.
That gives it no justice. If you like your Christmas stories to involve strong emotion, moments that really make you question your thought process and where you are at as a person. You know, it's a very morally high ground related movie. There's some magical elements. There's some time travel elements where apparently in this town, there's the man and the wife come in. They move into the town, and the mayor. I guess the man and the wife can't live together, right? And
the man gets a job.
He gets a job as a
lumberjack.
Yeah, and
he has to live at the boarding house.
And as the man leaves, he says, "I will be back by Christmas." So he's not allowed to have contact with his children at this point, which doesn't make any sense.
And this is a town that looks like it's one square block.
Yeah. And then what was the woman's name? I have no idea.
Judy.
Judy? Well,
Mrs. Kindle.
She works for Mrs. Mavoda. and by the way, with this as I was telling, this movie is like a first grader's play. And then they animated it. There's no emotion. There's nothing to it. Honestly, I don't know what it was about. After watching Lifeforce and then going into this, I for one, it's a big pet peeve of mine to watch any Christmas movies that are not around Christmas time, and this has just reaffirmed it.
But you know, most of the movie might have taken place outside of Christmas because you're about like 2/3 of the way through the movie, and all of a sudden we see winter or spring, fall, and.
Well, there were the
spring, summer, and fall pass by.
There were definitely creative.
And then we get to suddenly it's Christmas.
Yeah, this is more of a spring movie with Christmas sprinkled in there.
It was creative animation. I like how the animation style would change. And Mrs. Mavoda, when she would talk, her eyes would talk with her. I thought that was interesting.
Should probably mention that there are some adult themes in it.
And there was a lot of reused animation cells, just with different dialogue over it. That was odd. Mrs. Mavoda can't play poker. She likes to
she gets a hangover.
We also keep saying her name differently because no one seems to know how to say it in the movie.
Well, you get a bunch of marble-mouthed kids to act. It doesn't help the process.
But they only got a couple of kids when they needed more, and so they just voice modulate some of the other actors.
The one they didn't even do that. One was a boy, and then the girl was talking, but it was the same voice, and there was no pause in it. Right. There was no pause in the...
Well, there aren't many pauses in the entire movie.
Well, apparently the actors were in a rush.
From the narrator from the narrator at the very beginning to every person who spoke, there's about maybe a quarter of a second to breathe.
The narrator at the very beginning, it's like every time they snapped their finger, he had to talk faster and faster. Because if I don't finish this before the movie ends, well, I'm not going to get another chance to do it.
I forgot to say, though, that the Christmas tree, this is the orphan's only friend.
Mrs. Hopewell. That's right.
Is that the name of the tree?
Oh, yeah. And that's how it's introduced.
Name, yeah.
How'd they know it was female?
No, they had another friend, though. They had Licorice.
Oh, Licorice the dog. There was a dog
who
named
gives little kind of creepy winks at the camera.
Yeah, like he knows something I don't know. I forgot the best part. At the beginning of the movie, the mayor gives money to Mrs. Mavoda.
2 bags.
2 bags of money that look like testicles when they're together. 2 sacks of money. And that's how I like to get paid from now on, actually, is in sacks of money. Either way, Mavoda takes the money, and I swear to God, without a beat, for some, she has the money, and then she's taking off the little girl's shirt, and there's really no explanation as to why the shirt was removed. I still don't understand.
I know why. Because she dresses the children up for when the mayor comes by. And when the mayor leaves, she takes the nice clothes off of them and puts them back in their rags.
Well, I guess for a deaf person, this would be a very confusing movie to see money exchange hands and then kids getting naked.
I feel like most movies would be confusing for a deaf person without subtitles.
Yeah, probably true. So, yeah.
I was trying to think of actually a movie that would be good for deaf people.
Helen Keller.
The Snowman, that movie that's just music.
Luckily, we're an audio podcast.
No deaf people. We apologize.
We're just kidding.
Not really.
I am though.
I mean, there's no. But anyway, back to the movie.
That'll get edited.
They set up this plan that's very well spelled out. That's set up that kind of gets dropped when she's got to pick up the package.
Oh yeah, when
Miss Mavilda's got a plan to frame Judy.
Judy, yeah.
So, but why?
There was never really an explanation.
Because the mayor says, "Hey, you know what? Take Judy and have her help you buy clothes for the kids." And Mrs. Mavilda has lost all the money while playing poker, and so she's like, "Oh no, I'm going to get in trouble with the mayor."
This is when she wakes up with her hangover.
Frame Judy. Yeah, she wakes up with a hangover, and she's like, "I got to do something. If I frame Judy, I can get her fired and pin everything on her." Ha ha ha. And then Judy tries to go buy the clothes, but gets turned away because there happens to be an accident in the way. And then while she's gone, the kids run away to. They know that that the two kids' mom's going to be framed. And so they decide that because that's going on, the most important thing is to save the tree. Because they also hear that the tree's going to get cut down. So they book it out of the place and head for the North Pole.
But with that, you
get Santa to save the tree.
You know, I always live by the rule of thought: fix the problems that you can solve. So if your kids are missing, and you can't find them. Let's just save the tree. You know, choose the easiest route and go from there.
Those kids could be anywhere, but that tree is right outside.
And then there's a bear.
There's a bear.
Terrifying bear attack.
The bear is a T-Rex bear, actually.
Yeah, a bear makes dinosaur roars.
This movie was horrible. I don't even know how this is. It's only a Christmas movie because Thor Santa comes in at the end, which we'll get to.
Like a movie, the Christmas tree has some of the worst camera framing. Like, how do you poorly frame an animation?
Oh, let's not forget the artist swipe, or there was the blotch of color.
Oh
that
yeah,
just came out of nowhere.
Where we were saying that the artist dropped his color palette onto the lens. It's
so then the Miss Mavilda gets struck by lightning at the end because that's how all Christmas movies end.
Oh well, because she tells the lumberjack guy to murder all the kids to get to the tree.
He had a chainsaw. And then the mayor showed up. Then the whole town showed up.
And then Santa showed up.
And then the dad shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, sort of out of nowhere, but more out of like the upper left-hand corner of the screen.
He leans in and he's like, "What's going on?"
I've never heard of this movie. It was 45 minutes long. And I think The Grinch Who Stole Christmas is only like a half hour. There was the 5 minutes of The Grinch makes more sense than what this movie was. I would never watch this with my son. I don't see the benefits of this. This was a disturbing movie, and as I said, it was 91 it was made.
Yeah. I can't understand. Like we were saying, this is a movie that sounds like it was written 3 languages ago and just translated to English.
Well, I will say this to your listeners. I've seen this movie 5 times, and I will see it 5 more if I can get people who haven't seen it to watch it in front of me, because it is a hilarious thing to watch people see the same craziness.
Very funny. We were dying.
I got to say, those 45 minutes went by full of laughter.
It's true.
Like, not a minute went by that we weren't cracking up about something.
It's true. We rewound a few times just to...
Well, there were some unbelievable moments, and I can't think of them at the right now.
I mean, at one point, one of the kids literally goes, "Mrs. Mafum."
Yeah, the name just changed.
Delivery is something that throughout the movie is hilarious. Whether it's the way the narrator's talking, or when especially the husband of Judy, he's just like, "We came from the mayor.
I have to go.
I have to go.
See you at Christmas." And it's spring.
Yeah, they couldn't decide. Whatever animation studio did this, it would go for.
Skin tones were inconsistent from shot to shot.
Judy had to go to drop off the mayor thing, and it's just, "I'll be back before Christmas." So it's a big town. 'Cause it wasn't Christmas Eve when she left. When she got back is when it was Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Which then I know there were 2 days because the little kids, what were their names? Who's got the memory for that?
I know one of them
Pappy.
is Lily and Pappy.
Yeah, Pappy. Pappy. Who names their kid Pappy in the first place? And then
It's short for Papakas.
I thought it was for Big Poppy. And then they get lost, and then the little girl disappears, and then there's the bear, and then there's a scene where the
girl gets dropped off the mountain. She falls off
and
the
that was
side
it?
of a mountain.
She was gone, and then the mom comes, and she comes back from the trip and realizes her children are gone, but she's more concerned that they're going to cut down the Christmas tree. So she sheds a single tear for her kids, and then goes and stands with the other kids in front of the Christmas tree, because as I said, take care of the problems that are near you instead of the ones that are too big for you to handle.
And then the kid shows up with the dog. The son shows up with the dog.
Yeah, Licorice is there.
Yeah, and then Mrs. Mafulaba takes the chainsaw, goes to chop down the tree, and gets struck
Boom.
by a bolt of lightning from the sky.
Thor Santa.
And Santa, creepy Santa.
It is
shows
creepy
up.
Santa.
A star turns into Santa.
Well, that was the Christmas
that
star.
what-
Yeah, a star turns into Santa in his sleigh. They come, he lands, Lily jumps off, and then he talks with a really unexpected voice.
with a very deep voice.
And then launches presents.
with precision accuracy.
Into
all
This Santa, with the accuracy he's got to have lots of kids, because it goes right in every
He
time.
should go to the state fair. He'd be killer at that throw the ball at the milk thing.
Yes, he would. Santa, I watch you when you poop.
But it
Yes,
was terrible, and I enjoyed every second of it.
No, both
man.
movies were good, and they were definitely bad good. They weren't boring. They didn't drag. I mean, Lifeforce did drag a little bit,
Yeah,
just because it was a horrible movie.
it was longer than it needed to be.
Well, it was the director's cut, so we saw the director Toby Hooper's true vision.
I'm glad I got to see through his eyes and got to appreciate that. I didn't know director's cut meant no editing at all.
Right.
You throw every scene you've filmed and you put it in there. And oh shit, good
Show
luck.
him running through all the doors.
All the doors. I want slow motion. I want no blinking. I want no face of motion. I want Patrick Stewart getting the first kiss. Then Patrick Stewart was such a wasted talent in this
Have
movie.
Patrick Stewart kiss that guy for more length.
Yeah, that's that. And okay, that's my critique of this. More length with Patrick Stewart kissing, and more penile shots, and a decision on what's a vampire and what's a zombie. 'Cause that's where I got lost.
Yeah. Another good effect I liked in Lifeforce was when bad Tommy Lee Jones is driving and the zombie reaches his hand in the car and he tears its arm off, and the zombie's arm keeps moving.
Giggling.
But then he doesn't throw it out the window. He just throws it
keeps
into
it
the
in the
back.
car.
Because
of
I
the
guess
truck.
we forgot to point out also it's a very muggy night in England, and when you're driving around from the zombie apocalypse, you got to have a cool breeze blowing on you. So make sure you put that window down.
Yeah, that's right. All of London is under zombie attack.
Out of nowhere, mind you, it was calm, and then unless I missed something,
They got this telegram in the helicopter
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
saying, London's under attack.
and it was.
And then they showed it.
Yeah, and they showed like explosions and London Bridge, so you know where you are. Well, that'll about do it for. You want to play a game?
Well, I think we could do another round of Batman versus movie, Dawn of movie.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay, what is this? I don't know what
Or
this is.
movie versus movie. Okay. Let me do this. So Scott,
Do I got
here's
to
how
put
it
my
works.
shirt back on for this?
You do.
Okay, hold on. Give me a minute.
So the way this works is
Slower.
we pick
Do
a
it
movie,
slower.
and then we find a
Hold on.
movie
Hold on.
that has anything in common with it: actor, plot,
Like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but for Batman?
No. It really has nothing to do with Batman, unless we choose a Batman movie, which we did last time. But so let's say I said like Jaws, and then you were like Deep Blue Sea, and then we would talk together about which one's better than the other.
Well, Deep Blue Sea, it's got Samuel. But then again, Quint. And
I mean,
Quint,
Jaws wins.
Yeah, but yeah.
But like they're
I
two
used-
similar movies.
So, but they could have, but it could be two different Tom Cruise movies. It's like they have one thing sort of in common.
Far and Away and Days of Thunder.
Okay, but let's not do a Tom Cruise movie.
All right.
Okay, so somebody pick a movie.
As I've said, I'm terrible at this.
Okay,
So
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Which
really?
one?
You pick
Which
a
one?
pirate movie?
And now we have to pick a movie. Well, the first
Yeah,
one.
that's what I mean. What other
And
pirate
then-
movies are there?
It doesn't have to be a pirate movie. It could be another Johnny Depp movie.
Goonies. That's a pirate movie. Okay, another.
All right,
okay,
so-
no. Okay, no.
Let's do that then.
We're gonna do.
Pirates
Okay,
of the
because I was gonna
Caribbean
say What's
versus
Eating
Goonies.
Gilbert Grape if we were gonna do Johnny Depp movies. What's better out of those? Okay, but we'll do Goonies then. Then I pick Goonies.
Okay.
Is that how the
So you
game
just
works?
jumped
Is that
right
it?
to the end.
Is that it? Did I
Now we
win?
can discuss what they each have to offer. what are their strengths and weaknesses
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
like, why do you think Goonies?
I think this is actually a pretty good comparison because they're
Because
both
Goonies
fun.
is actually more of a coming of age. Like Pirates of the Caribbean is more character driven as far as like, hey, I'm Jack Sparrow and I'm a bad impression of what I can't stand Pirates of the Caribbean.
even the
Oh,
first
wow.
one.
Yeah, even the first one.
Oh,
You know why?
yeah.
Because I don't like that monkey. He was very smug. I don't like a smug monkey in my movies.
There's a monkey.
Monkey?
Yeah, the monkey. That's the worst kind. Yeah, the monkey. There was that little spider monkey.
Oh,
He
the
started-
zombie monkey.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the Goonies it just took you on more of a journey than Pirates of the Caribbean did. Although I just watched Goonies probably about a month ago. I haven't watched Pirates of the Caribbean in a while. I don't know. Which one do you think is better? Sloth also is way better than Captain Barbossa. And the Fratellis, way better than any pirate.
I think a lot of because didn't we see that together?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we went to see it because we thought it
Shocked.
was gonna be just awful.
Terrible.
Because we wanted to go make fun of it, and about 20 minutes into it, we both leaned over and we're like,
Kiss.
"This movie is."
Pretty good.
Oh yeah! After I took my tongue out of Matt's mouth, I said, "This movie is awesome."
Yeah, I don't remember it being 20
I don't-
minutes in, but
It
it
was-
definitely clicked at some point.
Yeah,
like,
like, I
hey,
was like,
this is
this
actually
is-
legit.
This is great.
Well, it's entertaining. I mean, it's entertaining.
It's a lot of fun. It's a good. Like, when was the last good pirate movie? I can't think of one.
Yeah, me neither. It introduced Keira Knightley in a really mainstream way, and
Yeah.
I like her.
I liked Orlando Bloom. I liked Johnny Depp. I
There
liked,
was
no?
the one
the
scene-
music's great.
the music
that
is great.
that
yeah.
movie has great.
I like the
music.
one scene when Barbossa had the little wheel on the front of his pants, and they said, "Sir, what's that for?" And he said, "It's driving me nuts." You don't remember that? That must have been director's cut.
No, can you wait? Tell it again.
Wait, what?
Barbossa's got a little wheel on the front of his pants. You guys don't remember this? Like on his crotch area,
Uh-huh.
and then like his first mater because something comes up and goes,
Right.
"Sir, what's that wheel for on your crotch?" And he says, "It's driving me nuts."
Right. Okay.
That's it.
And then what happens?
This isn't in the movie, Nick. He's just telling you a joke. He's just
Hold
telling
on,
you
wait.
a joke.
Oh wait, tell the joke again.
No, I will not.
Please, you should rewind it later. But yeah, music. It's a really beautiful movie too. I mean, I'm not
agree,
a
yeah.
huge cinematography person, but it is really beautiful. It's fun. It's got twists and stuff too. You know, like and it's before the other Pirates movies where it gets all played out.
And going into it, I don't think I realized that the other pirates were ghosts or cursed. So like,
Spoiler alert.
yeah, spoiler alert. So like when
Oh, yeah,
like the
so when you
shadow
see
hit
it-
that one guy and he's got like a zombie face, the
Yeah.
special effects were outstanding and
I don't agree with any of that.
Really?
Well, I don't know if it was all outstanding. I guess I'm
was.
looking through.
I thought
you
it
know,
looked
Did you see it
great.
in the theater?
No, I didn't. I guess too, like when you see a movie for the first time, like it's better than when you see it multiple times and go back. Except I don't know.
Some grow on you, but yeah, most of the time
Yeah.
it's like that. And with that, so those things were like there were lots of surprises in the movie.
And I was
It's like,
never a
didn't
big
see that
pirate
coming.
fan either. I think that's my biggest problem. I wish you wouldn't have
Yeah.
picked Pirates of the Caribbean. There's so many movies out there, and you
Well,
pick
hey,
Pirates.
well,
of
hey
the
man,
Caribbean.
maybe once we wrap this up, you can come up with other movies.
Can't think of it
anyway.
anymore.
Well, what about Goonies though? So
Goonies is great. I love Goonies. Goonies is an all-time classic.
Well, it's got different characters. It's got different environmental changes. The characters, you see them develop and turn into heroes. And
They're
the
not.
octopus was scary.
the octopus.
This is Sloth. He's gonna live with us now, Mom.
That guy he used to play for the Oakland Raiders.
He died.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sad.
I mean, we all
Um,
die.
I think in terms of enjoying that movie, I'm a Goonies fan myself, but I'd say like it's mostly the humor for me.
Okay, well, this
and
is this
and
is
a little bit of the like the things that they go through are pretty adventurous. So there's the humor and that just kind of fun, that sense of fun. Those are good for me. I don't get that much out of
that
characters.
you could have gone on with your friend.
Well,
Yeah.
I,
You know,
are-
it's
can we do 2 new movies?
Yeah.
Okay,
no,
how about
we're still doing this one.
Okay.
We haven't finished
Go for it.
the last one. What's your vote? Which is better?
My vote.
Well, you guys, it's not really a fair vote because.
Well, you pick the movies.
Well, I didn't know how the game worked.
Well, you should have asked.
Well, you already voted.
That's like asking if I ask where the bathroom is and I shit in the sink. That's like it's my fault.
Well,
you could have told me to use the toilet.
I have a vote.
But I showed you where the
Pirates. I'm
bathroom
going to go Pirates
was.
of the Caribbean. I like Pirates of the Caribbean more.
I'm gonna have to go with.
Now, okay,
I'm gonna have to go with the Goonies.
I can see that.
I'm saying for rewatchability. You know, I can't rewatch Pirates, but I can rewatch the Goonies. But that might be because of childhood and whatnot.
Yeah, nostalgia factor wise, Goonies will probably be. Goonies is something that I've shown to other people. When I've met people and realized they haven't seen it, I'm like, you got to see that.
How do they react when they see it? Do they like it, or are they like, these kids are obnoxious? Because I
think you kind of have to have grown up watching movies in the 80s to enjoy it the way that
we do. I would think if you saw this movie for the first time as an adult, you'd think these kids were just so obnoxious.
Well, didn't you say you just watched it with your son?
We tried to probably a year and a half ago, and he's.
I'd say if you watch it with him 4 years from now, you'll see.
Yeah, I recently watched it with my son, and it worked out. Yeah, and that'll bring me to my 2 movies. We're done with this. I'm moving on to the next 2 movies, and these are my 2. You got
the Goonies one.
Okay, The Lost Boys against the Monster Squad. So you got 2 kids up against supernatural creatures. And for me, that's a tough one because I love both of those movies. Corey Feldman is in Monsters. No, Lost Boys. We got who else is in that?
Corey Haim.
You got
Jason.
Dude, really gonna name him? What was he in? Jason.
What
was that dude's name?
Oh, he was the dude from Speed 2, right?
Yeah.
Jason.
I want to say Bateman, but that is not even close at all.
He's got one of those names that other famous people have too, like the same last name. But anyway, what about it though?
Jason Patrick.
That's it. And what was the other? What was the other? Come with me, Michael. Come with me.
Oh, Kiefer
Sutherland.
Yeah. Good point.
So, well, when did that come out?
That was Monster Squad. Does that have Fred Savage or that Little Monsters?
That's Little Monsters. Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Now, see, I haven't seen Lost Boys in probably 10 or 15 years.
And why?
But I just haven't gotten around to it. It's not that I don't want to watch it again.
Millions.
Yeah.
But I only just saw Monster Squad for the first time last year when I think it was Ray that watched it on the for the
Ghostbusters.
podcast.
Oh,
shout out to Ray.
Shout out to Ray Bakeman. Or not Peter Bakeman. Ray Stoltz.
Radominki.
What's his last name?
Radominki. My son thinks his last name is Ray and a Mickey.
Radominki?
Because he asked me, "Did you do a podcast with Ray and a Mickey?"
Ray and a Mickey.
So I'd only just seen that. Now that's a movie that kids watched in the 80s, and I watched it as an adult.
And it's PG.
Today.
It's 80s PG.
And I loved it. I thought it was great.
I haven't seen Monster Squad in a long time, so I can't really weigh in on that much. I know it was fun, but I haven't wanted to watch it since I was a kid. Lost Boys I used to watch all the time as a kid. And then it's been kind of like the Goonies too, where if I know people haven't seen it, I'm like, you have to see Lost Boys. And we'll watch it, and I still enjoy it just as much. In fact, I think the funny side of it, like when I was a kid, I liked it as a scary movie, but as I grow up, the funny side of it, I enjoy more and more. Well, we all know what Corey Haim and Corey Feldman are kicking ass in that movie.
Well, not only everybody knows what the best scene in that movie is. And do you guys want to know what the best scene in that movie is?
Sure.
Been talked about many times. Is the buff saxophone player jamming out on the beach? that dude makes me want to play the saxophone. It's good. And those hips, man. He's really getting into it. He's way too buff to be a saxophone player. And the maggot scene. I didn't like that either. When he's eating the rice, and then he turned it into maggots.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
It gets you.
Oh wait, doesn't that happen in Poltergeist too?
No, there's maggots crawling underneath a steak in Poltergeist. This is like he's eating rice, and then
Michael
Kiefer Sutherland tells him like, Michael, you're eating maggots. How are the maggots,
Michael?
And I gotta say, like Kiefer Sutherland's really good in that role.
He's really, and you know who else was in that? Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
True.
He was also.
He didn't have many lines or anything though.
Well, he was still there.
David Winters.
Who wants to know?
Is it David
Michael
Winters?
wants to know.
Michael, come with me, Michael.
Excellent. David.
But seriously, Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. If you don't
Frog Brothers.
if you don't know much about,
well, no, the Frog Brothers were
Corey Feldman and the other guy.
Dude, yeah.
But if you don't know much, or if you don't remember well the era that was the Corey Haim and Corey Feldman, go back and watch this movie because
Go back and watch
License to Drive.
No, there are a lot of them, but I'd say this movie is one of the great ones.
And now go back and watch all of the sequels to the Lost Boys that Corey Feldman.
I would not recommend that.
There's like 5 of them now.
Check those out.
I haven't seen any of them.
So with those, with the Monster Squad, I'm a big Frankenstein fan. So. But I think they did Frankenstein really well in that movie. You know, he's the tortured soul. He doesn't want to be created, but he doesn't understand who he is.
He doesn't want to be a bad guy.
Yeah, he's misunderstood.
Yeah, he's like a good guy.
Bye, Phoebe. He talks real slow. There's just good killing in it. The effects are amazing in that movie. The swamp monster, the costumes in it, really great. Definitely not a PC movie. Definitely not a
There's kids smoking and
homophobic
swearing.
slurs in it. There's some hard F's that are dropped. Yeah, there's swearing and smoking.
But that movie's fun because it doesn't treat being a kid with kid gloves. That's how kids talk.
Well, Wolfman has nards,
Yeah,
and that's
right.
the bottom line. Kick a
You know,
Wolfman in
like-
the balls, he's gone.
Like kids swear and kids run around and go on adventures and make friends with a Frankenstein.
You know, that's a good point. I think you're right about that. Well, not
Especially
maybe
that
not the
part.
Frankenstein part, but a lot of movies come out and they really try to. I guess because it's a family movie, but it's like that's not how kids really act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's one of the things that's good about the Goonies is because like going back to that, like the kids in the Goonies talk to each other like kids talk.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if
Or like Stand By Me.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can tell the moments in because Stand By Me is a great example because you can tell the moments in Stand By Me that are scripted and the parts where they're all just kind of talking to each other. I guess a pseudo improvisation segment where they're just chit-chatting and then they're like, all right, now we're going to do the script. And you've got Wesley Crusher from Star Trek Next Generation who's barely able to keep up with River Phoenix as far as acting goes.
We just call him Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
I couldn't think of it.
Wesley. And then you got Jerry
Corey
O'Connell.
Feldman's in that
you
too.
got Fat Jerry O'Connell and Corey Feldman
You know,
again.
and
yeah.
like you know, they're gross. They tell
And
each
Kiefer
other.
Sutherland's in that also. Yeah, wow.
That's, John
Cusack.
Cusack.
Yeah, he's the brother.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then Lardass, which is the fat kid. I don't think that's his actor
I doubt
name.
that's his name.
No, that is his name.
I think I was Lardass.
Because he's in the
third.
short story
Lardass.
that he tells. And then what happens?
No, I meant that's not the actor's name.
We just went.
Oh. Well,
But Monster
so-
Squad.
who wins Monster Squad versus Lost Boys?
I'm going Lost.
I'd have to go Lost Boys just because of rewatchability. Monster Squad tends to drag when you watch it again every now and then, but Monster Squad is it's a really great vampire flick to get into. You know,
I'd still recommend it.
yeah, I would. It definitely holds up. Monster Squad holds up as well, but I think that Lost Boys holds up a little better, just because you got recognizable faces in there, and it moves at a pretty quick pace. There's some slower parts in Monster Squad that aren't so fun.
I'm gonna have to go with Monster Squad just because I haven't seen Lost Boys in a long time. I don't remember.
Watch it without a shirt.
Right?
I'd still recommend Monster Squad too, but I'm going Lost Boys totally all the way. And honestly, if you like Lost Boys and you're looking for something that's kind of in the same realm, this is kind
From
of off
Dusk Till
topic,
Dawn?
but I was gonna say go check out Silver Bullet. It's corny, but it's
That's a Corey Haim. That's a werewolf
another
movie.
Corey Haim movie. Yep, and it's
I was
going
to
to
say
I don't
check
think
out
I've ever
Jesus Christ
seen that.
Vampire Hunter.
you've
which-
never seen Silver
I
Bullet?
watched about 10 minutes of that.
I've got it on DVD, man. We should check
I
it out one day.
also have it. I'm like,
It's a
I got
Canadian
about-
movie.
it's a trauma film, so
Yeah,
it looks like it was made.
There's
for
lesbian
$10.
vampires in it. It's Christ doing what we read about in the Bible. This is the Christ that we know.
Yeah,
and
I got
love.
about 10 minutes into that, and I was like, this is not good.
Who's the chick?
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of Batman v Movie, Dawn of Movie. Round 2. Good.
All right.
All right.
No, wait. We have to take the winners and throw
put
them against each other. So it's going
Oh, right, yeah.
Goonies against the Lost Boys.
Which one wins?
I would still say Lost Boys. Lost Boys is a kick-ass movie. It really is. Like, it's an hour and a half long. full of action, full of love, full of laughter, full of life.
Matt?
Oh man, actually here I find myself a little more in a pickle.
Oh my God, how did you get in that pickle?
It's a really big pickle. I had to get sewn into it. Man. I think I'm gonna have to go Lost Boys too, but I'm gonna say that's just I think more my own nostalgia, how much I've enjoyed it throughout my life. I feel like Goonies I would expect to be a little bit more universally liked, but I'm going Lost Boys.
And I'm gonna have to go with Goonies just because
you need to get back to Lost Boys.
I think you're right. But I think I would still go Goonies. I've seen Goonies so many times. I love that movie. So
Spielberg.
He produced it. Richard Donner directed.
Okay. It's got that feel.
Yeah.
That sort of 80s magical fun.
Yeah. Those 80s kids movies that Spielberg was involved with.
Was he the Explorers? Was he involved with that?
I don't know.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, that was the one where they built the spapeship.
Charlie watched that.
They had
movie
like the
for
dream.
One of
Isn't it, they get the dream from the aliens.
Something like
to
that.
build a spaceship, and then when they
it.
get there, it's like these are alien kids, and they get in trouble.
Yeah, Charlie talked about it the one week on the show, and like before we started the show, he was like finishing watching it. I watched it with him, and I'm like, "This is terrible."
wait, if we're talking about terrible movies, just on a quick note, have you ever seen The Experts with John Travolta? And,
no.
And it's like they take these. It's like Russia wants to make spies, so they take John Travolta, who's like a club promoter, and they put him in this Russian town that's supposed to look like the 50s, and they make it's a very odd movie, but very horrible. Yeah, The Experts. Look it up. Check it out.
All right.
Enjoy it. John Travolta.
All right. Well,
better than Michael.
The Angel movie?
That was terrible.
Better than Michael.
God. Oh man, that was awful.
All right. Well, this has been week something of This Week in Film. I'd like to thank good buddies Matt and Scott for coming all the way to my house.
Yes.
From all over the world.
Everywhere.
Other countries and other states.
Yeah. You got anything to add at the end? Some plugs, Matt?
No, I think I did my promoting for Shay Lindsay last time. If you don't know who the Nostalgia Critic is, check him out. Mental health's always good, so if you need help, call a therapist. That's all.
Scott?
I didn't know there was a plug segment to this podcast.
There is.
Where's your next appearance gonna be?
It'll be at Staples around aisle 16. I need to get some new leaf binder. This is very awkward. Why would you have plugs at the end of this?
People got plugs.
Other people do things.
Charlie's got his own comic book. He always plugs.
What's he plug? What's his comic book?
Boy Zero.
Yeah. Well, I definitely recommend Boy Zero. I've read it. I'm waiting for the next one to come out because right now, the way the last one left off. I don't want to give too much away, but let's just say Moon Men, and I'll leave it to you guys figure it out.
We might be doing a special Charlie-centric live in appearance, like at an event.
What's his middle name? Don't say that because people can figure that stuff out.
I don't know. His name's Charles Chester. Look him up.
Does he go by Chuck?
No, he's Charlie.
That's a bummer.
Nick, did you want to plug something?
Your hair?
Check out this. Check us out at thisweekinfilm.com. Say hi to us on the social media.
SoundCloud.
Send us money on Patreon.
Oh, yeah, do that. Hey, have you posted anything on Patreon other than one?
No, we got 2 posts now.
Oh, okay.
Did you really? Maybe just some suggestions too for, I don't know, for this Batman versus movie thing would be kind of.
Our last episode.
Oh, that actually is a good idea for if you're doing Batman versus movie, doing a movie again.
That way
to have your listeners make some recommendations for battles they want to see you do.
Okay, good. Yeah, you listeners. If we do Batman v Superman again,
do that.
Our last show where we talked about trolls was unbelievably successful, to the point where it's suspicious. But what? We're still doing the show. I don't know why you guys are having your own conversation.
Just a signal.
So if you are listening to us for the first time, or you know why we had so many downloads, let us know. We want to know what we did and what we did right. And
Probably the term troll.
I'd love to see that kind of success continued. But other than that, if that's the end of the reel, we'll see you next week in film.
See ya.
Yeah, that's how the show ends, Scott.
Bad.
Yeah, I know.